Hello everyone and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 1 vs 1 replay casted by myself. My name is Axel and this is game 2 of a series in between the red Protoss player in the top right, ROOTFayth, and in the bottom left we have the blue Terran player, VTPokebunny. So if you haven't seen game 1, go ahead and click that link at the bottom and go check that out. It's a pretty darn good game, and then come back and watch this one. So once again, this is game 2 of MLG Columbus 2011 Losers Round 8 action, and VTPokebunny got to this point by DNSing in the winner's bracket. I'm not sure if he was late, if there was some miscommunication there. I definitely know there was a story behind it. Unfortunately, I didn't get all the details, so I can't be complete as informative as I would like to be. So ROOTFayth got to this point by charging through the loser's bracket. He actually lost in the winner's bracket in round 2 to Kawaii Rice 2-0, and now he's in losers round 8, so definitely came a long way, played plenty of games and won plenty of matches. And some statistics on these guys: VTPokebunny is 79th in the Grandmaster League of North America with 1,128 points and a record of 205 and 96 as he puts down an early barracks, and this probe goes to work on trying to get some damage done. And ROOTFayth is 130th in the North American Grandmaster League with 1,067 points. So both these players definitely up there on the North American ladder. Super excited to see how this series ends up culminating. Of course, VTPokebunny must win this game to stay in MLG Columbus 2011. So a lot of pressure on him this game, but keep in mind he did choose this map, so probably definitely has a build in store against his Protoss opponent. And something that's interesting to note that happened last game, ROOTFayth, well, it was on Typhon Peaks, which means ROOTFayth was able to hide his tech really easily. He hit a Dark Shrine and a Twilight Council in an obscure corner of the map. VTPokebunny never scouted there, so Zelmaga Caverns, on the other hand, a lot smaller, so it's a lot harder to hide that tech from as scouting SEV. So perhaps VTPokebunny had that in mind, and as I say that, we have VTPokebunny putting down a tech lab, so it looks like a similar strategy to last game, actually getting a second barracks. Last game we saw him just get one Rax and then an expansion, probably due to the fact that that map was so large, such a long rush distance, so you can really get away with doing that as a Terran player. But this time, electing to go for what I would imagine to be a more safe 2 Rax expand build, and on the other side of the map we have ROOTFayth not putting down any revealing tech so far, just getting a second gateway, so probably going to chrono out a Stalker right when that Cybernetics core completes in order to eliminate that SCV, and then we'll see him put down his tech, either an additional gateway or a Robo or a Stargate. We'll have to wait and see on that. And in VTPokebunny's base, he does have a Marauder and Marine shelling away at this assimilator, so not worried at all about hiding the fact that he has a Marauder. You'll see a lot of players hide that first Marauder if the Protoss player decides to take that gas in order to keep that chance open of Cloak Banshee or something. But since ROOTFayth saw that Marauder, he'll know, hey, that was a Marauder shooting my assimilator, so no fast Banshees are coming my way, so I don't have to worry about getting a Robo as fast as I normally would. So we do have ROOTFayth proceeding towards the middle of the map, trying to take control of this watchtower. Will pursue this SCV away, but he must be careful. He doesn't want to get picked off by these 2 Marauders and this Marine. Be careful, Mr. Stalker. It looks like this Stalker will get eliminated. Yes, he will. So a little bit of a clumsy move by ROOTFayth. Actually a pretty big deal when you lose any sort of units this early in the game. And I'm wondering how this is going to turn out. He does have 2 units being chronoed out of these gateways, so I'm pretty sure he should be able to hold this pressure off relatively easily. I mean, the supply counts are fairly similar, 36 to 35, so I don't think ROOTFayth feels that threatened at all. And back in VTPokebunny's base, is he putting down a command center? Yes, he is. So a 2 Rax expand from our blue Terran player, VTPokebunny. Very safe build, and I'm sure he was accounting for this coming into this game. Of course, remember, he did pick this map, so definitely had this strategy in mind, I would imagine. But he has to be careful. He doesn't want to be trapped up here. ROOTFayth does have a force field to use, but electing not to use it, trying to target down Marauders, but I'm not sure if he has enough here. VTPokebunny really good with his micro, kiting away from all of ROOTFayth's units. So yeah, ROOTFayth definitely overextending himself here. I would have liked to have seen him put down a force field when the Marines and Marauders were up in this portion of the ramp, blocking them in so they couldn't micro away, leaving the Zealot to do as much damage as it wanted instead of being slowed by those concussive shells. So ROOTFayth finding himself in a sticky situation here and warping in 2 sentries, and one immediately gets destroyed. No, it doesn't. It survives with 4 HP, but his stalker does get picked off. ROOTFayth probably wants to send his sentry to put down another force field right here to keep those units from coming up, but no, deciding to pull probes instead and trapping perhaps. Where's the force field? No force field going down. So ROOTFayth having to pull probes here, never a good situation when you have to pull probes this early in the game. And he may lose the sentry here. He does lose the sentry. Very good focus fire by VTPokebunny, focusing down the sentries, and he does get another one. So VTPokebunny being very impressive with his micro, focusing down those sentries. Of course, those sentries are super important early and late game. They're important early game because you want to get those out as soon as possible to start building up that mana so you can get as many force fields out as possible. And ROOTFayth looking like he wants to do a counterattack, and I'm not sure how this will pan out as VTPokebunny looks to be very comfortable. He does have 2 Marauders and 4 Marines, with plenty more being produced out of his barracks. He does have 2 additional barracks on the way, so definitely favoring a heavy Marine Marauder composition at this point in the game. I wouldn't be surprised to see him put down a factory and then a starport soon to start getting those medevacs out. And as he does have stim coming close to completion, but we do have 3 stalkers trying to do some harassment here. Does take out 1 SCV, but he doesn't want to overcommit himself right now. He could lose some more stalkers for free, and this stalker sacrificed himself for his friend, enabling his 6 kill friend to get away. So those 2 stalkers do get away, but he did lose 1 stalker in that engagement and only took down about 2 SCVs. Let's look at the income tab. VTPokebunny definitely ahead at the harvester count, 33 to 28, and you have to take into consideration those mules as well. And I was going to look at the units tab actually to see what kind of army these 2 players have. We'd have 10 Marines and 4 Marauders from VTPokebunny in comparison to the 2 Zealots, 2 Stalkers, and 3 Sentries from ROOTFayth. So VTPokebunny with a 61 to 48 supply lead definitely finds himself ahead in this game at the moment, but look at ROOTFayth getting a really fast robotic space, so wants to get immediately into that Colossus production. But on the other side of the map, VTPokebunny does have that starport, and he should be transferring it to that reactor in the near future, so he will be able to get those Vikings out 2 at a time if he feels threatened by those Colossus. But it looks like VTPokebunny has decided it is his time to push. He feels like he has a good timing here, but ROOTFayth does sniff it out. He does have an observer following this army. Let's see if VTPokebunny catches wind of it and decides to scan and get rid of that observer. ROOTFayth continuing to warp in units, does have 5 sentries, 2 stalkers, and 4 zealots, along with a Colossus being chrono boosted out of that robotics facility. So definitely has to be careful here if he gets caught in the wrong position here. I mean, those stimmed Marines and Marauders can do a lot of damage. Here we go. Some really key force fields must go down here, and those were actually decent, getting those getting that infantry army to flee for the time being. But how many force fields does he have left? Not many, so some good force fields there, and the Colossus does come forward. Will this be able to handle this army from VTPokebunny? VTPokebunny is stimming forward, targeting down that Colossus. That would be a huge deal if he manages to take that down, continuing to run forward. And ROOTFayth forced to pull some probes, and that should handle this Marine Marauder army sufficiently, and the Colossus does remain alive. So VTPokebunny definitely doing a lot of damage here, taking out the entire ground army of ROOTFayth, barring 2 Stalkers and 1 Colossus, and he does find himself in the supply lead, 69 to 57. And here we go, VTPokebunny coming forward for more with a lot of sentries and some Marauders. I'm wondering where his medevacs are, and here we go, stimming forward, targeting down that Colossus, taking it down immediately along with all the ground army, and there's the LOL GG from ROOTFayth. So ROOTFayth will lose game 2. That means the series is tied 1-1. Let's jump straight into game 3 without any delay. Go ahead and click that link on the bottom. I'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching.